Hi, ladies. Today is May 1st. Happy May. And we are in our packet on page 57. So you should be at the pretty much end of your packet at this point. There are some additional pages if you'd like to complete them. But at this point, this should be the end of your packet, and you should be receiving your next packet here pretty soon if you haven't already. Um, so we are going to get started today on our word problem. So Mrs. Babs wants to buy a television that regularly costs $600. If the sale price was 20 hundredths of the regular price, what was the sale price? So I want you to think about this 20 hundredths as 20%. Okay, so 20% is the same as 20 over 100 or 2 tenths or 20 hundredths. So basically we're shopping and there's a sale price that is going to take some money off of the television. So we have kind of that percentage, which is 20 hundredths or 20%. And it's going to make the cost of my TV not quite as much. So Mrs. Babs wants to buy a television that regularly costs $600. So this is going to be that initial cost of one TV. And then the sale price of this TV, so our sale price is going to be 21 hundredths off the regular price. Okay, and that regular price, remember, we can always kind of fill in these parts that match. So the sale price is 21 hundredths off of $600. Okay, so we're trying to figure out what is the sale price. So first thing I want you to ask yourself, if you're shopping and something is on sale, is it going to cost more than the original price or less than the original price? Okay, so if we're going shopping and something's on sale, we know that we're getting a better deal, which means that our cost is actually going to be less. So this is kind of a fun little lesson for when you're shopping at the store and you want to figure out how much money you're actually going to spend if something's on sale. And that's a really, really important thing to be able to do because it's your money that you're spending. So you want to make sure you know how to appropriately calculate if something's on sale. So like I said, 20% is the same as 20 hundredths. It's also the same as decimal to zero, which is a really important thing to know. So your hint at the bottom is what is 20 hundredths of 600, okay? So what is 20 hundredths of 600? And I'm going to show you a couple different ways to solve this problem today. But I want you to use a strategy that you feel like is helpful and effective. But I am going to show you a couple different ways that you could solve this. But I want you to think about how you would solve what is 20 hundredths of 600 to begin with. All right, so go ahead, start this on page 57 of your packet, and then when you're finished, we'll check it together. All right, ladies. So we're going to be looking at this problem today together. So I have a TV that I'm wanting to buy, and it's $600, and that's one TV. Okay, so the $600 is for one TV. And then this 20 hundredths, which is the same as 20%, is the amount that's going to be taken off of the TV. So this is that sale price, but it's not going to actually give you the wholesale price. You're going to have to calculate the sale price yourself. So we're kind of looking at this 20 hundredths is how much we're going to be taking away from that TV. And we want to know how much the TV costs if it's 20% off. Okay. So if we're thinking about what is 20 hundredths of 600, we're going to start with that strategy. So we have 20 hundredths. And we know that of means multiplication. So we're going to multiply that by 600. And we know anytime that we're trying to turn a whole number into a fraction, we're going to put it over 1. All right, so now we're going to multiply like normal, because remember, when you're actually just multiplying, you just go straight across. We're not doing any keep, change, flip. You're just going to multiply straight across. So you don't necessarily have to break this apart and do like this whole lattice or partial products or whatever. Find your basic fact. 2 and 6. 2 times 6 is going to be 12. But then I have all these zeros that I make sure that I have in my answers as well. And then we're going to be taking 100 times 1, which is 100. So we can be doing this several different ways. You could write this whole thing out and do the whole standard algorithm where you go through the bringing down, the multiplication, or we can just use that cross-off method. So we have 12,000, and we're going to divide it by 100. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to identify what our basic fact is, which is 12 and 1. Okay? 12 divided by 1 is going to give us 12. And now we want to figure out how many zeros we should cross off. So starting in this number 100, we're going to cross off the 2 zeros, which we're going to do the exact same thing over here. But then this last 0 goes into our answer. Okay? So 100 or 21/100ths of 600 is actually going to be $120 that we're removing from the sale or from the actual price. So how we want to represent that is we want to be taking our whole cost of the TV, which is 600, and we want to take away that sale amount. So the sale, how much we're going to be saving is $120. But our question was, how much does the TV cost after the 20%? So we want to subtract 120. So 0, 1, 0 is 0. 10 minus 2 is 8. 5 minus 1 is 4. So the total cost of my TV is going to be $480. So now I want to show you another strategy, and this is something that you will be able to do like when you're actually at a store and you're trying to quickly, maybe you pull out your phone and you're trying to quickly calculate. And we're going to be using whole numbers and decimal numbers on this one. So instead of using 20/100ths as a fraction, we're going to be using it as a decimal. So this is going to be our strategy number 1. And here's our strategy number 2. So what we're going to do, and this is what you would put into your calculator. So you would do 600, and you would multiply that by 20/100ths as a decimal. Okay, so 600 times 20/100ths as a decimal. Okay, and remember, you can do this the exact same way that you did before, but this time you have a decimal. So if we did 6 times 2, which gives us 12, and then our 3 zeros. But remember, you have 2 decimal places that you need to account for in your answer as well. So you're going to move your decimal, 1, 2, which is $120. So in your calculator, if you were to do this, you would see 600 times 20% or 20/100ths equals $120. So again, that's not your cost of your TV. This is how much you save. So now you want to take the total cost, which is 600, and you want to subtract the 120. And then same thing, you're going to figure out that the total cost of your TV now is $480. So if you're ever at the store and you find something that's on sale and you want to know exactly how much it's going to cost you so you know if you have enough money or not, and you've got your phone with you so that you can use the calculator, you're going to take that sale price. So if it was 25%, you would do decimal 25. Okay, if it's 14%, decimal 14. So you multiply the total cost of whatever it is that you're buying times the decimal, and then whatever the percentage is, so 30%, decimal 30, you multiply that, and then you subtract whatever you get for this answer, you subtract it from the whole cost of whatever item it is that you're buying. So for our answer and our number sentence, our answer today is going to be $480. And then for our number sentence, we want to make sure that we're using those parentheses and to make sure that we know what the order of operations is, because remember, we're fifth graders, so we want to make sure that we're using those fifth grade equations. So first thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking that 20% times $600. So you can either represent it like this, or you can represent it as a fraction. It doesn't matter either way. So I'm going to represent it like this. Okay, so we do this first, and then whatever answer we get from this, we're going to subtract that from, and remember, we're taking it from the 600, so that needs to go first, so that we're taking it away from that, because if it goes after, it's going to be 120 minus 600, which doesn't make sense. You want it to be 600 minus 120, which equals $480. So once you're able to get back outside and go to the mall, and you're with your family member and you say, oh my gosh, I found this shirt that's on sale. It's this amount. You're going to really impress your family because you're going to be able to calculate the exact amount of money that you're going to have to spend on that item.